everybody. Thank you so much for joining us to another episode of Spotlight. Today we're doing season 2, episode 1, and today we're going to be talking about the two of the authors of the book, Lessons We Learned from COVID-19. We have the pleasure of being with Roxanna Ezenekwe and Eni Osong, also my co-pilot, Jasmine Ofori, our social media specialist, is also with us. My name is Cyrus, and I am the CEO of Whisperboy.com and bonovinote.com. Eni, thank you so much for joining us, and Professor Roxanna, thank you so much for joining us. Eni, tell us what year was the book written, and how did you manage to assemble this? This sounds like one of those Ocean 12, Ocean 11 kind of projects. How did you assemble this amazing group?
No, you make it sound like an easy question. First of all, thank you for having us on your show, Cyrus and Jasmine. It's great to be here with you. Of course, talking about my pride and joy. That's what this book is, really. So one of my life's greatest achievements, I have to say. No, not especially because I publish other people's books. You know, it's weird to publish so many other people's books and see their dreams come true, and then not have a book yourself. So this is a life project in itself. You know, so it's a realization of a dream. It's taken us a year to publish a book. Taken a year to write and publish a book, right? So the idea we had last year, and the idea was to publish this book around Christmas, I think. Oh, where we go? I'm off stage. I fell off stage. I don't know what happened. I might well fall off. My internet might well fall off sometime.
Don't worry, you are on stage.
It's fine. It's fine. We're back again, right? Like I said, the plan was to publish a book at Christmas. You know, and for an anthology, a group book, that means finding authors who you trust, who you like, who have interesting stories to join the book, right? But Christmas came very quickly. I think we had half the authors on our list. Now, do we publish a book with 5 authors, or do we go to get as many as I actually dream of? So I wanted 8 at least. That was my idea, right? That was the idea we had. So my business partner and I, that was the dream, right? And so Christmas came, we thought, okay, let's do the work to get a few more authors into the book. That's when we found Dr. Roxanna and a few others. They said many people don't understand how books really work. They think everything flows nicely. I wish it did. It doesn't quite work that way, right? So we had 8 authors, Cyrus, 8 authors. We're quite happy with that. And so we thought, okay, let's publish a book. So we'll publish a book. As just as we were publishing a book in July, I think July, June, July.
July of which year was it?
This year, so July this year. So literally, it's a book. So we went to publish the book in July. That was extended to August, and then the book was launched on August 21st, right? So as we go to publish, there's drama in the family. There's all sorts of crazy things happen. When you have 10 authors, what do you expect? What do you expect to happen, right? Things happen. So we had to add a couple more authors to add more diversity to our story. That's how we did this. So it's been a journey to get this far. Of course, as a publisher, I reserve the right to carry on tinkering with the book, right? So if you have a copy of the book in your hand right now, good luck. Well done, you. Right, well done, Jasmine. The book may well change by the time you look at it again next week, is what I'm saying to you, because I can add and take away stuff, right? As a publisher, I can. There's a fun part of doing what I do for a living. I've answered your question, right?
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. Did you have any challenges before you managed to finally publish the book?
Cyrus, there's always challenges. Books are books are living beings, number one, and in a group book, there's always conversation around what's a good story, what's the process, what do we do as publishers to, when Dr. Roxanna gives us a story, do we judge it and say, no, we don't like that, add this, add that, take that away, or do we say, no, that's your story? Maybe let's find a way to sharpen how you say stuff, for example, right? So there's a book. You have to make choices all the time. This wasn't. Because everyone has a great story to tell about the pandemic. It wasn't that painful, to be honest. It's, I guess, with all books, the real task is now. It's a marketing. That's the problem, right? Now, the marketing is a drama because the marketing is it's a life journey. It never ends. A lot of people will publish a book and then they'll do a couple of months of marketing and say, "Oh, I've done enough. I'm going to move on." Well, this is Annie who does book marketing, so I can't let this book just sit on the shelf gathering dust. People have to get the books in their hands and read the book. They have to love the book, talk about the book, and then look forward to more of what we're doing as what my co-authors are doing, because all the co-authors they do something, they do amazing things, right? Of course, you get to meet them over the next few weeks. I'm well aware. So Dr. Roxanna, for example, has a story to tell. Like, she's a genius, but once you write a book, you tend to become an addict. So no one tells you, right? As soon as we finish writing the book, Dr. Roxanna has 5 books written already on top of our anthology. We just published one of them. I'm saying that's how so literally a book is a living thing. We just have to keep rolling with the hills, right? This is how it goes.
Keeps evolving, doesn't it?
So
Professor Roxanna, thanks for joining us. Please tell us about what you do, and I'll have a few more questions for you after that.
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I am an educator. I have been an educator for decades. Actually, I was teaching when I was in Nigeria 28 years ago. I brought my family here 28 years ago. And I had 5 children, my husband, and we were a bunch. And we showed up in here. It was not easy. It was we had a lot of culture shock. And later on, we are here and we're doing well. But anyway, I've been trying to write a book. I've been thinking about it. So I'm meeting Annie last year in LinkedIn audio room. I told him, I want to write a book. He said, "Oh, I can help you. I can help you write a book." And all I know, within a short time, he told me that I can get into an anthology, that my name is in there. I need to do some things and I'll get in. So that was how I became one of the authors. And so the other things were stories. We were supposed to have the book written within 2 months, but because we were about 7, later on increased to 10. It took us some more time to finish the book. But there it is, we have the book, Lesson Learned from COVID. And I'm one of the authors, the
That's
first
fantastic.
book. So I can see me, I am always happy. I have a lot of photographs, a lot of social media posts on this book, my first book. All right. So after that, I said, okay, I can actually write a book. We did it, and we went through a lot of I won't say training, but a lot of steps that taught me a lot of lessons, the good and the bad, some ways to behave and some not to behave. But after some time, you learn from everybody. And finally, we finished the book. And Annie is a great, I don't know how to, but without Annie, I wouldn't have actually started writing the book, though. So he was a great leader. He took us through whatever happened, and we are right here. And I'm sorry, I'm going to be showing you my book. Just in case you didn't see the first one, I'll show you again that we have the book here.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so I think I answered your question, right?
Yes, thank you so much. And so in your book, and for those of us who may be wondering what an anthology is, it's basically a collective effort of a group of authors which gets published. So in this collective effort, you, along with a few more people, wrote your piece. Each of you wrote your piece and submitted that to Annie, and he published it. So you taught people as an educator. It's your job to teach, right? That's understandable. However, my question to you is, in this whole process, what did you learn as you were writing it? What did you learn?
I learned a lot. I already told you that I learned how to write a book. I had to write only one chapter. The 6th chapter was my book, my section. And it was, the section is lesson learned before COVID, during COVID, and after COVID. What was it like? I have been a teacher and I have taught for, I told you, decades. Before COVID, I didn't have to teach online. I was, if I had to miss a class, I called a substitute teacher. But during COVID, there was no substitute teacher to call. Actually, after some time, they told us to go home and we have to teach online. But before then, I didn't know how to teach online. So it was COVID that made me go and learn. I went to University of Wisconsin in Madison to learn how to teach online. So I learned to teach online during COVID. And during COVID, I learned to teach online. Before COVID, I never knew how to teach online. It was never a problem though. It was never a problem because I knew I could drive to school. I knew that any day I didn't feel good, I could go and get a substitute teacher. But during COVID, there was no substitute teacher. So I had to actually set up my online teaching, e-learning teaching stuff in my house and teach online. And I learned a lot though. Now I learned how to teach online. Since after COVID, I felt that actually it was a great thing that I learned how to do. I learned how to teach online. And since then, I have been teaching online, face to face. And after you teach online, you actually record your lessons. So I have been recording my lessons since then. Well, after recording my lessons there everywhere, I decided, okay, I could post these lessons in YouTube. So you see how the learning from, I'm not trying to be happy that we had COVID because everybody did not survive. I don't want to say that, but I'm telling you the things I took from COVID-19. All right, so I have been able to post these videos online and on YouTube, and so that I can. I don't know if I got me lost there. Can you still see me?
Yeah, we can still see you, yes.
Okay, all right. So I learned how to teach online, and not only that, I could actually post my lessons anywhere, so that students who couldn't come to class can go back and watch the lesson. That is huge to me. That's one good thing one out of many I learned from. I learned a lot of. Before COVID, I didn't know how to use Zoom because Zoom, I was not into Zoom about conference, and I wasn't able to do. There was no need for that. But now e-learning conferences, you can set it up in your house. That's Zoom everywhere. Any could call us during the writing of Anthology, which an email and send us a link, and we can just show up in a minute.
Greater than love. Imagine
Sorry about that. Yeah.
We could show up in a minute as soon as he calls up for a meeting. So it was a good thing that I learned during COVID. For COVID, I transformed, helped me transform not only me, a lot of people.
There is no
how we communicate and other things. Did I answer that question?
Yes, beautifully. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So Jasmine, thank you so much for joining us in another episode of Spotlight. So we're talking about what happened during COVID, and today specifically, so we're going to start the main discussion in a few moments. The main discussion today is how did it start? How things were. We're just reminiscing, and we're going to be discussing what the very, very beginning of COVID-19. What were you doing, Jasmine, at the beginning of COVID-19?
Well, at the beginning of COVID-19, obviously, I was in the hustle and bustle of life, isn't it? Getting things done, trying to, get my family, in a good place in terms of financially and things like that. My daughter was my main concern during that time. But, when it hit and we couldn't go anywhere, it gave me an opportunity to assess the relationships I had and where I wanted to head in terms of, my goals and who I wanted to be close with and that kind of thing. So COVID-19, although it was a tragic thing, it was a blessing in the sense that, it made us realize that life isn't all about the material possessions you have. It's about the people that you're connected to. And it's about the simple things in life that really makes life worth living. So in terms of COVID-19, yeah, it was a good reflection point for me to assess my relationships and see where I wanted to head to. Yeah, that's me.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree with you, Jasmine.
Yeah.
There's about the disease itself and affecting people. There's nothing positive about it. But,
Yeah.
in the grand scheme of things, as a species, in a way, it propelled us forward. And well, yeah, there were a lot of heartbreaking stories, which is perhaps one of the main focuses of this show. And people mostly feel that they haven't they haven't gone through the therapy that they needed. It hasn't been long since the pandemic, and perhaps it would be a good idea to actually discuss how people felt and what happened to them, and to the nearest and dearest, to the grandparents, to the children, to themselves. Lots of people lost their jobs. Lots of people lost mental stability and mental health. Lots of people lost their parents, their kids, and we lost what mattered to us. And that is not something that a lot of people have gotten over yet. And it's not easy to get over those things. Yeah, you can live with it day by day, but you can't get over it that easy. So that's what we're going to do. So thank you so much for that, Jasmine. Now, Annie, when you wanted to read, when you wanted to write the book, lessons we learned from COVID-19, did you initially intend to write it yourself, or from the get-go you had the plan to actually make it a collaborative effort?
Look, of course, writing the book myself was never my thought, because it's not the way I work, right? I call myself a fame expert because I tend to work collaboratively with everyone in everything I do. I do audio rooms with people, and so writing a book, most of the books I'm gonna write as well are gonna be collaborations. I think it just, my aim is to showcase my friends, showcase their genius, showcase their stories, right? So this book was, we said from the beginning it was always going to be a group book. The question in the group book is always how many? How many people are we going to have in the book? To me, again, not everyone knows what's involved in it's a job in itself. It's hard as it sounds, right?
Annie, you keep dipping in and out, my friend. I think it's your internet. Sorry, guys. In live shows, technical issues happen sometimes. We are sorry about this. Annie, can you hear us clearly? Yeah, my guess was right. It was his connection issues. I just wanted to seize this opportunity and thank amazing ladies and gentlemen who joined the show. Crystal, and Dr. Ayo, thank you so much for joining, guys. Jesse Staten, thank you so much for joining. Ernest, you always join our shows. Thank you so much, Ernest. And who else is there? Islam, thank you so much for joining. Dr. Amaka, thank you so much for joining. There's a lot more people on Facebook that I can't see, and on YouTube, and we are on LinkedIn today as well. So we've gone multi-platform to advertise this book. So whilst we're waiting for Annie, I'm going to run a quick video about one of our sponsors. Okay, let's go.
There is no power greater than love. Imagine, what if there was a world beyond what we can see? What if our dreams were not just dreams? What if there is a place where we can live and love in peace and harmony? What if a science fiction romance wasn't fiction? Get ready to lose yourself with Lee and Van in a romantic adventure that up to now was just a fantasy. You will discover love has no boundaries. Explore the complexities of connections that span across galaxies and the heartwarming reminder of the power of love. Leslie Flowers has been blazing trails for the business leaders for decades, leveraging the laws of achievement and timeless success. Principles. Already an acclaimed writer, her new book invites you to explore what could be. With a passion for exploring the human condition and the mysteries of the universe. Leslie invites
Okay, so Leslie Flowers is one of our sponsors. I'd like to thank her for sponsoring the show. So Annie, can you hear us now?
Yeah, I could hear you to a bitter end. Until you were all spinning differently. So I was spinning, then you spun, then Jasmine, then Dr. Roxanna. Everyone was spinning differently. So, but this will happen on the mobile Wi-Fi. What can I say, right?
Yeah, I was thinking your internet is poorer than me before Christmas and New Year.
You don't know how poor it is. You don't even know how, Cyrus. It's worse than you think. In England in 2024, imagine that, eh? Yeah, it's what it is. Let's do what we can whilst we can, right? Hopefully I'll be home by next weekend when we do our next one.
Have you finished painting the new or redecorating the new house?
No. I'm nearly there. Nearly there. I'm on to the last bedroom now, and then the bathroom's easier, and the kitchen's easy. There's tiny room, so
persevering through the whole thing, right?
Yeah. What can I do, right? It's family business, is what I call it. I work day job by day, and then I work the night. I work the the painting and decorating at night.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So now, with regards to how the virus affected people, there is different origin stories, and there are versions that are approved by the governments, and there are versions that we're not supposed to say. So so when it comes to talking about the origins of the whole thing, has that been discussed in the book, or has it just been has it only been about the emotional ramifications of the virus?
Well, I mention it. One of my subheadings is the Wuhan virus. So it's a take. Everyone's story over.
You keep breaking up, Annie. Can you hear us? Okay, so ladies and gents, if you can hear us, we are very sorry for the technical issues that's happened. So next, I'm going to go to Professor Roxanna. Professor Roxanna, there are different versions of what actually happened in terms of COVID-19's origin, and since today is about the origin and how it started, so I'm gonna mention both views. Some people say, technically speaking, COVID-19 started in the 60s, so it's nothing new, basically. But the focus has always been which lab was it that it escaped from, okay, out into the wild, and it affected the whole world. So which version do you agree with? The first version that it was invented in the 60s, or the version that says forget about where it was invented, just focus on which lab it just got out of? So which one would you focus on?
Thank you so much for the question. I don't really want to believe that it started in the 60s, because if it started in the 60s, I don't know how many people would have been in the world today. I know that we lost a lot of people, millions of people died. Just within the 2019 that we knew that COVID was in. I don't want to pinpoint the lab where I started, because I'm not sure about the lab. I'm not trying to say what. Nobody's sure about the lab. But what I don't want to believe is that the COVID started in 1950 something. No, it started to the best of my ability or my knowledge. It started in 2019. And
right. Well,
to be
honest with you, I understand. Well, to be honest with you, COVID on its own, well, we call it COVID-19 now, but COVID is not something that that was created in 2019. COVID is something that became a pandemic in 2019. It doesn't mean it was kind of invented in 2019. However, as they say, each their own. So it's a free world in terms of what we believe. What we believe, what we want to believe. I understand that. But today's show is not about beliefs. Today's show is about how it affected people and what we were doing at the beginning. So what were you doing when the pandemic, when the lockdown happened, the days leading to the problem turning into a problem, really? So what was happening in your head? What were you doing at the time? Tell us a little bit about that, please.
In my own case, when the COVID started, actually had 2 pregnant women in my house. So I just want to focus on what happened in my environment, because I don't know what other people were doing, but I have 5 children who are all married and they have their own children. I have 12 grandchildren, but 3 out of those grandchildren were born during COVID. And one of them was a set of twin boys. So my daughter is a doctor and the husband is a doctor. And so during COVID, it wasn't about just what we know that whenever they come, they tell us how many people died. Every day, the count of how many deaths they saw. So it was just bringing people, siren going up and down, and the way. So actually, when they leave the house, what we think about is, are they actually coming back today? And when they come back, my daughter and her husband, I'm not trying to say that we were mean so much, but we let them stay in the garage and remove all they can remove from there. And we make sure that they clean up before they came in, because the twins were born and my other baby were born. So I had 3 grandkids during COVID. So we are trying to protect the grandkids and my 9 other grandchildren, and so that we shall all be safe. I wasn't a baby then. I hope you know I have a child I had a baby. So I was considered one of the elderlies who will be protected, and my husband too. So we were making sure that we haven't caught the COVID. And we did a lot of things to help us not catch the COVID. And then I was also working. I told you I went to learn how to teach. I became an online teacher during COVID, so I could teach my higher education students. And then when I started teaching, I was doing all those things, taking care of my grandkids and still going to school, because I still have to pay my own bills. This is America. So I had to go to school, pay my own bills, take care of my grandkids. I had to protect them. I wouldn't want anything to happen to them, including the ones that are no longer babies. I had about 5-year-old, 7-year-old then. And there was a whole lot of things. The things I usually took for granted, that they go to work and come in. It was just going to work and coming in. But that time, we actually, before they come back, we want to know if are they among, they told us how many doctors committed suicide. They told us how many nurses, you won't believe it, but that was so. They told us how many nurses have been in the hospital for 1 week, haven't gone back to their families because nobody will come back and replace them. It was their story that moved me a lot. Sometimes, honestly, we made it through COVID, but not a lot of people did. And let me go to where I was teaching. I was a teacher. And some of my colleagues, teachers, did not survive the COVID. I had one of them came to school on Friday, and on Monday, lo and behold, we learned that the teacher we had meetings with, it was face-to-face, died during the weekend. So
I'm sorry to hear that.
There were things we couldn't, there were a lot of things that happened though. I lost some of my good students. You could just tell them to go on quarantine school quarantine them. And all of a sudden, you will learn that one or two of them did not make it. And so some of those kids that I thought them in their junior class, then they came to it was just a blow, because they are your children. I don't know, but I've thought for a long time. And some students you teach, almost all of them become your children. And it's not just what is happening in class, it's what is also happening to them, health and their families. And so sometimes you come back from work broken. So I can't tell you enough about sometimes when I was writing my portion of the anthology, sometimes I drop my pen, cry for some time, stop writing, and make sure that I recover. Because remember, I lost a teacher, was my friend. We discussed so many things. There are some people that you can talk to anytime, but all of a sudden, we learned that he came home and he didn't come to school on Monday. We were looking for him, and they went to his house and looked, and he has been lying down there. He didn't. Anyway, but he did not wake up the next Monday. That's all I can tell you. But
that is such a bitter memory. Yeah, I understand. That's a very, very bitter memory. How did you feel when the moment you found out about it?
Oh goodness. I can't tell you just that I cried, but see, you start counting, you know that there are things you take for granted. Going to work and coming back, that I'm breathing this moment. It's a gift from above. I thank God every day that I have another day. It is November. It was just January 1 the other day, and today is the 2nd of November. So I'm just grateful to God, because I don't know who did not make it today. I don't know how. I don't want to call somebody's name who is already dead. I don't know how he did not make it that Monday. He never said he was sick, though. So we didn't know he was sick. So how did he just die during the weekend? Anyway, I'm going to stop the story there. The students I lost, we never heard from them. We didn't know their story, though.
Yeah, that's the thing about life and death. People
didn't know their story. It was sad.
Yeah. People don't schedule their death. Death happens to us, right?
No, that's so sad.
Yeah, I understand that. It's life is full of unexpected things, and one of the things that exactly to echo your point there, one of the things that I learned from COVID-19 was the fact that life doesn't come with a guarantee. I knew it before that point, but I learned it with my whole being, with every fiber in my being. I learned that. So I said, I love you more often. I got angry less frequently, and I focused on my goal more than before, and I tried to make more friends.
Exactly.
And I tried to extend my network of business connections, network of friends, and so expanded my life basically. And I was like, so whatever I wanted to buy, whatever I wanted to get involved in, I thought, if not now, then when? Lots of those people who lots of people who died during the pandemic.
Exactly.
Surely they had plans, they had hopes, dreams.
You never planned death, especially during COVID. Never planned you can just have here's that somebody who you were standing with somebody and the person dropped dead. It was just like that. It was so I can tell you that my family, we all survived, everybody in my family, but my family is just not there. I mean, there were so many other people I knew them. They did not survive. They did not make it. So anyway, but we learned a lot. We picked a lot from COVID. I know also, I don't know if but I know that some of the spices in my kitchen I didn't know they were so powerful until during COVID. I didn't know that ginger and garlic that can use it to cook a lot of maybe hot soup. And the first one I should give to somebody who said is, or who I notice is suffering from COVID, is a cup of hot ginger tea. And maybe the person will just survive, will not need any medication. I can stop. Let me stop here so that others can speak. I can talk about COVID for a long time because it was not.
Professor Roxanna, that's why we invited you. It's absolutely fine. That's why we invited you. And you are, first of all, you're a valuable part of our community, and secondly, you were involved in that book, and I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for what you shared, for your valuable share. So, guys, thank you everybody for listening so far. So next, we're gonna listen to a beautiful song about one of our sponsors, Jasmine Ofori's Jew Digital.
It's on the way.
I can't hear anything, but it might be playing.
Can you hear it? I can't hear. And I can hear you, Cyrus.
Oh, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Got some technical issues. Let's see. Okay. Can you hear it now?
No, not yet.
I hear it. All right. So whilst I'm preparing that, Jasmine, please tell us about your business a little bit, and how is it that you can help people, specifically authors and podcasters, please.
Okay, thank you, Cyrus. I'm Jasmine Ofori. I am the founder of Jew Digital, and what we do there is essentially we work with coaches, consultants, and event hosts, to promote their brand online, gain leads and visibility using social media marketing. So if you think of your, videos, your infographic content, anything that speaks to your target audience, we help you to get there. And if you'd like to, contact us, I'll leave our details in the chat. It's calendly.com/JewDigital. We can, work together to see how I can help you. But in terms of promoting books, I have been working closely with Cyrus, and we've been promoting Leslie Flowers's book, and I'm now assisting him to promote Annie Ostong's book. So the background you see behind us is something that I designed. So yeah, I do help with infographic content and virtual backgrounds, and I design all kinds of stuff. So so far, so good. Cyrus says he's happy with with the work, so I'm crossing my fingers and hoping it's all well and I won't be sacked. But yeah,
Thank you so much. You're fantastic.
Yeah, that's what I do. I just wanted to add to the conversation that you're having about COVID-19. Now, I noticed a trend in the way people behave. So psychologically, it had a toll on people in terms of the division it caused. Politically speaking, I'm not going to go too much into the politics, but you had families torn apart because, one wanted to take the vaccine and the other didn't want to take it. So I feel that it's had a long-term effect on people in terms of their psychology. We're still, recovering from that point of view when it comes to COVID-19. And it's something that has fascinated me because you see families who are loving and caring towards each other, and all of a sudden this thing comes in between them, and it's like a riot. So I don't know what you thought about that in terms of, the fight between these two.
yeah, it was a true struggle when it happened. And as they say, if you don't learn from your history, you're bound to repeat that history again, right? So it's so if we don't learn from what happened during COVID-19, there could be another pandemic.
Yeah, there will be.
Well, it didn't. We didn't know about it, and potentially in the future there could be another one. And how did we behave? Did we, if this was a test, did we pass? Did we fail? Did our governments pass? Did our social care system fail? Or did we pass with flying colors? I'll let you be the judge of that. So I'm going to play that file again. Hopefully this time.
Oh, yeah.
Can you hear it now? Yeah.
Yes, I can hear it now.
Excellent.
We know the customers you love and your favorite trends. Your digital is here, where your advertising friends will boost your social views with a trendy blend. With Jasmine, Ofori guiding you, your success will never end. We know the customers you love and your favorite trends. Your digital is here, where your advertising friends will boost your social views with a trendy blend. Guiding you, your success will never end.
That's good.
This one's about any Songs company, guys.
Oh.
Every step forward is a new beat to your drama. Chase success with Global.Media.com and celebrate it with or without champagne or rum. Achieve success with Global.Media.com.
Wow, that's good. Global Media.
Achieve success with Global.Media.com.
You was thinking about Global Media. That's good.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Thank you so much. So,
I love a brand song. You know, I love the songs about me and my business, I guess. I'll take it, Cyrus. It's genius how you create it.
Yeah, it's great. The one that sticks to my mind, Annie, when it comes to your brand is you know, that Global.Media,
Yeah,
that one.
yeah.
That sticks to my
I'm
head.
going to take a picture.
That's the first one. Anyone who does music, I always beg them to do me a jingle because podcast needs jingles, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you.
Thank you,
We
Cyrus.
appreciate
That
it.
was good. That was entertaining.
You're more than welcome. So the last one that we have
You to come along on this interstellar journey. That there is no power greater than love.
That's
Imagine, what if there was a world beyond what
Cyrus,
we can see?
you're gonna be funny.
What if
You're
our
going
dream-
quiet.
Oh, can you not hear this, guys?
No. We're gonna only hear you.
Dreams were not just dreams.
I can hear.
What if there is a place where we can live and love in peace and harmony? What if a science fiction romance wasn't fiction? Get ready to lose yourself with Lee and Van in a romantic adventure that up to now was just a fantasy. You will discover love has no boundaries. Explore the complexities of connections that span across galaxies and the heartwarming reminder of the power of love. Leslie Flowers has been blazing trails for the business leaders for decades, leveraging the laws of achievement and timeless success. Principles. Already an acclaimed writer, her new book invites you to explore what could be. With a passion for exploring the human condition and the mysteries of the universe. Leslie invites you to come along on this interstellar journey that will stay with you long after you finish the last page.
Jasmine, did you design that to the background?
Yeah, I did that.
You
I
designed the background?
Yeah, the virtual background you see behind, and Leslie's as well. And the video you saw, actually.
The video was
oh,
also.
that's good. That is good.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is why we work with Jasmine.
Oh, yeah, that's why it's good to know, because I really need, maybe if Jasmine is going to be moderate in charging, I need someone to help me with some designing.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll have a chat. I'll leave my details in the calendar, and I've got your, direct message, so we'll talk.
All right. Okay. Thank you. Nice to show you.
Excellent.
Cyrus, thank you so much for showing us that. It was good.
Oh, you're more than welcome. So now, Annie, with regards to lessons we learned from COVID-19. Now, the main question I've got for you, Annie, I hope you don't find it unexpected. What did you learn? What did you learn from COVID-19, my friend? What was the whole lesson for you? What comes up for you?
Look, I've learned. Of course, I learned many things. As Dr. Roxanna said, COVID was the main push for us to go online. I live in a part of the country where I was literally running around every day before COVID, networking, trying to build my business, trying to find customers. And in those days, if I said let's do a Zoom, people would look at you funny, right? Whereas as soon as COVID came, we all went online. Networking was closed. Remember, it became illegal to congregate with more than 15 people. So we couldn't network. Of course,
more than 6 people. I think at some point, it was more than 6 people. And so I was thinking, where should I find 6 people that I like?
Even those days, we were still networking and we were still going to events, but they told us don't take any pictures, don't put it on social media that you were here, don't tell anyone you were here, right? I think that was my first lesson. But of course, you mentioned another one, another very important one, Cyrus.
So
no one promised tomorrow, right? So I learned to be a lot nice. It's not I learned to be nice tomorrow now. The issue I had was that in business, you get to a stage, you start off, you get to a stage, suddenly you're going around in circles, right? What we call the peaks and troughs. You earn money, you lose money. You get a customer, you think, I'm rich, I've made it. And then you lose a customer, you think, damn, I'm bankrupt, I'm sunk, I'm going to close shop and that's it. A bit drastic, of course, right? That's a mind of a small business owner, especially in my mind at the time. The question was, how do you move forward? I just couldn't find a way. I tried. I worked hard every day. Like I said, I was networking, doing all the things I should be doing, but nothing. I didn't feel like I was moving forward. But as soon as COVID came, I had to find a different answer. And my luck was suddenly, going online. You had to find different ways of doing what you do. So I met probably my greatest influence ever, till now in business, and that's my mindset coach, Donna Martin. And again, maybe it's all tied together because I think again my big lesson was, if you died tomorrow, who would care? I couldn't answer the question. I couldn't, and I figured, look, who was dying from COVID? Big black people, old black people. I fit into both categories, whether you like it or not. You might say I look young, but look, I'm a big black man, right? And also, I was 50 the other day. I was 50 in August, right? So I'm like, I could just catch this thing and die, and then who would care? No one would care. So my mission was to change that. Well, I didn't know how to change it. So until I met Donna and then started working on my mindset, and then realizing, okay, it's all in my head. It's in me. It's not in other people. It's not that customers don't like me because I'm not doing the right things. It's not that my family are against me in business because I'm not doing the right things for them, right? So my, I spent a good long while to change my attitude to life. You and I were talking yesterday in the room, Cyrus, and I was saying to you, you can't be happy all the time. I learned how to be happy all the time. It's not happiness that's the thing. It's attitude to life, right? That's what I learned. If I face life with purpose, a sense of purpose, with intentionality, if I want, don't die before you live your legacy. That's what I learned, right? Live your legacy now. That way, if you die, they'll remember you for something. It's a fundamental way of thinking, and for me anyway, right? So COVID brought that to bear.
As they say, some people die at the age of 25, but they're not buried until they're 90. So before we die, we've got to live, right? So, and one of the things that, in a way, you're talking about legacy. I think
that's the word.
Everyone who's been involved in this book left a really good legacy behind. Me and Jasmine are also writing a book collaboratively, which is going to be released in 2025. And
is that before or after the wine? Is that before or after the wine book?
The book about the wine is going to be published first. Then the second one, the second one's going to be published. The second one's about branding. The first one is about a brand of wine, which is called Bono Vinote. Anyway, the legacy that we leave behind, okay, so is going to be left behind through the pages, because at the end of the day, in 200 years, me, my children, my children's children, and everybody who knows me are going to be dead, right? And that's a fact. Okay, it's bitter, but it's a fact. So, the phone that I'm worried about, the car that I'm worried about, the internet that I'm worried about, everything that I'm focused on, that I really passionately care about, is going to be it's really bitter. It's really
redundant. What are you looking for, right? Redundant, pointless.
It's just it's just everything becomes pointless unless that's the key word there. Unless I make it mean something, I make it count, right? Every day above the ground is a good day. That's the way I see it, right?
Yeah.
Every day when I wake up in the morning and I'm like, okay, I woke up. Okay, that's good. I stand up, I take 2 steps, and I'm like, I woke up and I can walk. Let's do this.
You're winning, right? Look,
I'm winning.
A friend of mine, Kelly Gilbury, he taught me one of the lessons.
He's amazing.
Stories that sticks with me forever. Again, that's something I learned, right? It's simply that. It's simply this. We all get 2 lives. But we'll only start living our best life when we realize that we've only got 1 life left.
Wow.
Think of
it's
that
like
for
a computer game, isn't it?
Yeah, well, no, but isn't that how we all live, sad? Where we think, I'll do that tomorrow, I'll do that later, I'll do that another day, right? But when you realize your mortality, which is what COVID brought to all of us, then you realize, I bet I live my best life now. Tomorrow is not promised, right? Tomorrow may never be. It's fundamentally changed how I live, how I see things, and what I do. Like you say, once you take those 2 steps, Cyrus, and you realize, okay, I'm alive, yay, you're like, what greatness am I going to do today? What am I going to achieve? Who am I going to impact? What am I going to do? How am I going to do that? Are you with me? What joy am I going to bring to the world today? And that's every day from now on. That's the joy. That's what COVID brought. I think that's a good part of it.
Let me share a song with you. It's called Laters. Okay, so later is in the habit of turning into never. That's what I've learned in life. Let me play this one for you.
If you don't do it now, you'll regret it forever. Go on, push that button. Go on, pull that lever. If you don't do it now, you'll regret it forever. Go on, push that button. Go on, pull that lever. I'm sure you can do it, cause I know you are.
Oh yeah, that was it. So yeah, later is in the habit of turning into never. Okay, so if you want to write a book later, don't do it later. Tomorrow is not promised. That's what I learned in one of your rooms, Annie. Right now is what you have. You already have it, right? So if you want to write it later, don't do it. If Professor Roxanna promised herself that I'm going to do it later, would she be a part of this fantastic adventure? No, she wouldn't be.
And many people in that boat, Cyrus, they said, "Oh, I'll think about it. Oh, maybe later." And then the book was published, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, what can I say, right? You missed your chance.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah, absolutely.
I'll say one of my lessons, I guess, it's a struggle in itself, right? After you've written a book about COVID, a momentous thing, a genuinely huge topic, it's very hard to find another topic to write an anthology about.
Yeah,
I have an idea.
It's very relevant, though.
Yeah, but the COVID conversation covers everyone. We all experience it, end to end of the planet. It starts. Think of that for a second, right? There's nothing else like it. Everything else is almost niche if you think about it, right? And the COVID conversation. There's no day, even today, I'm watching the news and someone talk about COVID. I'm saying every day I've woken up since we published this book. And people are still talking about COVID every day. If it's doctors, it's nurses, it's kids, and everyone's talking about the conversation is still there. What else can any pick that people are talking about every day? I don't know. I haven't found it yet. It's a problem. I don't know. It's one that's I don't know how I'm going to get past that.
I understand. So COVID came, stayed a bit, and then left, right? And what remains is the memories that we have from it. And some of us have still injuries from COVID. They call it long COVID as well in some medical systems. Now, that is a fact, right? And speaking of facts, this book wouldn't be there if it wasn't for the collective efforts and sharing of these fantastic people that you can see on the screen. Annie, would you please read these names to people and to our viewers, please, and say one line or two about what each person does in this group of people in their own personal life, what their job is, what they do. Please go ahead.
Yeah, Zara Makili, for spelling his surname, there's a U at the end. So if you can, I don't know whether you can correct that if it's too late, right? No, Dr. Marcia is an amazing leadership coach. That's a Christian-based leadership coach. And she's written several books, probably written, I think, best of 5 books. Probably I think there was a 6th one coming out soon about leadership, right? Well done, Cyrus. Mrs. Z, don't shoot me. It wasn't me, it was him. Anyway, so Dr. Marcia is an amazing coach, and so she's got her own books as well, which they're definitely worth reading. But she's a lovely person too. She's a strong person, and she's got a powerful voice and a powerful things to add to our conversations. Chiesa is an amazing, again, a good friend of mine. She is my sister on LinkedIn. Again, if you read her chapter, then you find out. Everyone's story is about resilience, but Chiesa is sort of growing up in Africa, going to America, and it's like Eddie Murphy's story. So she makes her life sound like that, but it's not. We know it's not that. It's not that fun, really. You have to find your place, and finding your place in the new, in the Western world is hard. It's as hard as it comes, right? But she's doing amazing. She literally, everyone who's sat with me, I want to do greatness, and I'm like, here's your chance, take it. And she did. So I love Chiesa. She tells amazing stories. That's what she does beautifully. So she's an amazing salesperson as well. Now CJ is quiet, but like, and COVID, I don't know, it's hard to explain CJ's story. And CJ that I know, she had a very hard time before COVID and during COVID. So of course, for many of us, we think COVID brought grief, right? But for CJ, the grief started long before COVID. Literally, she's experienced many losses. Pets, her family members. But she struggles. She carries on. She carries on pushing through. From being in a big job pre-COVID, now she had to reinvent herself almost. She's got a new business, so as an entrepreneur. So that's a lesson that COVID taught all of us. Get on with it, like we said, right? Tolu, again, one of my best friends on LinkedIn. Tolu talks marriage. Tolu is married. She's a marriage counselor, but also a pharmacist. So she saw COVID from the front line, of people who need treatment and so on and so forth. Of course, she's also a great public speaker, award-winning public speaker, several times over. And we don't know the room together. Of course we don't. But I don't know the room with most of these people. Dr. Roxanna, I'll leave you. She's here. She's a legend. No one knows about Dr. Roxanna. I know Dr. Roxanna well. So of course, a multi-time author as well. And do you know that Roxanna is a YouTube star?
Well, I do now.
You do now. She's the one who does the mass videos for kids on YouTube that they actually do watch. And
I'll definitely check your channel.
YouTube pay her good money.
Yeah, could you please, Professor Roxanna, can you please leave a link in the events comment section so we can check your channel out? Me and Jasmine definitely will check it out.
Now you all should really. So Dr. Roxanna is not just a math genius. She's the educator of our kids, so online and offline, and she runs a business selling wellness products as well, which she doesn't talk about too often. We're working on her, launching her first book, her next book, her second book, really. Her
busy lady.
Yeah, she really is. It's not just business; it's the way she's embraced the opportunities that we have today.
Yeah,
that's why actually, when she says that she had a pre-online life, now she got an online life, she means it, because before the internet, she was literally like, I'm not doing any of that stuff. I'm just teaching, and that's it. That's not like the COVID struck, and then she's embraced the online world the way teachers had to embrace the online world, but she's gone all in.
Yeah,
and found out
e-learning during COVID. Yeah.
She really is the one. Yeah. So, Audra is more one of our quiet writers. Now she's, we see her, but we rarely see her. Again, her thing is more retreats, around wellness and well-being. That's more interested in helping women to find themselves and their purpose and their joy. Which it's a good thing, right? So someone's got to do it, but that's what gives Audrey the happiness and the life that she has today. So we've got Nancy. If you know Nancy O'Neill, she's powerful. She's a campaigner. If you read a chapter in a book, then you understand what I mean by she's a campaigner. And her thing is indigenous rights. She campaigns endlessly. I think last time we looked, she was writing in 18 anthologies, 18 anthologies. Yeah. Telling her story. I'm saying, why don't you just write your own book, Nancy? Seriously. What she wants to write, she wants a message to get everywhere. I think now she's embarked on a public speaking to share the message role, and that's what she's always wanted to do. To go and make sure everyone understands the plight of the Red Indians in America.
Yeah,
because they are truly they are discriminated against on a scale that most of us even kind of think about. But that's Nancy's mission. That's what she's passionate about. That's what drives her. So Margaret, of course, if you met Margaret, I call her Superwoman for a reason. She's everywhere, and she's on a mission to elevate people as well. So she does different types of audio rooms. She brings people to LinkedIn as well. It's anyone who does audio room to elevate other people is always going to be my friend. But she does a music room to go with it. I'm sure she's going to write many more books. Of course, she has a life offline, which is as an optometrist. Not many know that. But when you get to know, you realize that protecting your eyes is her thing. That's what truly excites her. So that was no, she's lovely as well. So if you meet her, connect with her, of course, and Mr. Z, Mr. Positivity himself. So when I met him, he was literally a young boy. He looked like a young boy in Nigeria, and he was just doing what he was running a photography shop. Again, maybe it's a COVID story where suddenly when we spoke, we talked about what do you want to do, Zion? If you want to do it, let's go big. When you're ready, let me know. Call me again, right? Next time I saw Zion, he was now a world-renowned speaker about positivity. Truly going big. And so now everyone knows who he is. Everyone knows his message is important. I think he's a positivity coach, and and maybe very likely going to be my next book. But then again, given what I do, because I do audio rooms and books, I am always on a mission to write more books. Again, another collaboration. So I'm working on a book with Zion, with Tolu, and Dr. Roxanna after we finish the audio room. So there's many different books. With Margaret, there's many different books I'm working on writing. Even apart from just these people on here alone. Look, Cyrus, they're all amazing people. Every one of these co-authors, they're legends themselves. Not only do you want to get to know them, you want to get to know their story, and you'd be amazed. That's the joy of my life, right? I get to enjoy this.
Thank you. Thank you ever so much, Annie. So, for those of us who haven't got the book yet, the book is available on Amazon. And which book are we talking about? Lessons we learned from COVID-19. The book is right there. And,
that's a book.
That is.
Your comments
the book is right there.
Lessons learned from COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen it yet, go and get yours. Read. It's worth a read. It's worth a read because it is a story of resilience from across the world.
Yeah, get it for your kids and grandkids.
Absolutely. I've never heard anyone say, I read a book and I'm less intelligent now. So please go ahead and please go ahead and sorry. So please go ahead and purchase the book and make that book yours as soon as you can. You never know. Maybe one of the people who shared their point of view in that book is going to help you get over your get over the issues that COVID-19 caused you. Sometimes, this is what I've learned about this book, because I've been in enough live audio rooms about the book to know what's happening in the book, right? Sometimes hearing from other people what they went through helps you understand that you're not alone in the way that you are feeling about what COVID did to you. And secondly, sometimes when you hear about other people's pain and trials and tribulations, you understand that your problems are very, very, very small compared to a person who lost their life during COVID, right? So however much your problems are, surely your problems are much less than a person who lost their life due to COVID.
Exactly.
What do you think, Annie?
I totally agree. I mean, as well as the hardships that we experience through COVID, I think you find that the book is more about inspiration. It's more about finding resilience, how we find resilience. Like you say, that might be all someone needs to find their sense of purpose and their strength to carry on and to change their lives. That's why we read the book, really. It's not a story of us wallowing in COVID. It's more, we must get back to life after COVID. We must not just get back to life. We must learn the principles to live a good life. And you mentioned it earlier, Cyrus, when you said there might be another pandemic. Let me change that and say there will be another pandemic, guaranteed. Because this is not our first one. The Black Plague.
It's
the Black
not the last
Plague
one.
There. Ebola, it goes around Africa every so often. I'm saying monkeypox is going around right now. I'm saying pandemics happen more often than we think. Now this is
apparently happens every decade, every 100 years or so. One war happens, is followed by a pandemic, and then another war happens, and that's how human life works.
I agree. So this book really is like it's like a resource for us to live by. Now, that's why when you ask me, if could I have written it myself, no, because I can't. I don't have that breadth of experience. Whereas with 10 authors, you're getting 10 points of view from across the world of how people came to terms with their condition, with this situation, and not just survived. Again, that's Roxanna's perfect example. We didn't just survive. We thrived.
Yes.
So everyone can do that. It's not just us. We all have. You have too, Cyrus. Jasmine, you were there, so you thrived too. Our world gets better for a reason, right? Mm-hmm. People need to understand how we got to where we are today, and how they can change their lives. A book is the best way to learn. Of course,
so when I was in school, or when I was in uni, when I had a let's say a math problem, or when I had a problem, if I spoke to 10 students, or if I spoke to 10 professors, it seemed like not only my problem would get resolved, but also I would learn beyond the initial question that I had as well, right? So if I were to learn the answer to one question, I'd rather learn the answer from 10 people instead of just one person, right? That's what the magic of this book is. Lessons we learned from COVID-19, right? Gives you an answer, not from one person, but from all of these amazing people you can see on the screen right now, right? So we're gonna go for a final section of the show, which is a few final words before we wrap it up. So now, Dr. Roxanna, Professor Roxanna, thank you so much for sharing something very valuable to us, which is two valuable things. One, your story, and two, your valuable time. So what is your final comments about lessons we learned from COVID-19 before we end the show tonight, please?
Okay, I just want to make sure I show the book again. And I encourage everyone to go and get the book. And if you already got one, get another one for your children and grandchildren. And you will learn a lot. It's not just one person's story. It's 10 people's story. One book written by 10 people. So the experiences are different. What I experienced is not the same as what any experienced. So it's good enough for you to get it and actually read it and see what is in it. So I said, thank you so much, Cyrus. Thank you, Annie. Thank you, Jasmine. We appreciate you.
Thank you so much. And I forgot to tell you something, Professor Roxanna. You are fantastic. Thank you so much. So Annie, whilst Professor Roxanna was showing the book, I can't see your book. Where is it? You had it. You were showing it in front of the camera, right?
I'll show you my book. Of course, I'll show you my book. It's here. It's here.
Yeah, of course it is. And guys, those of you who just joined us, when the book was published, when he got his own copy, ever since, I'm not sure how long. Yeah, I'm going to say it, Annie. Of course I am. So ever since the book's been published and he received his copy, he's been cherishing it like
every day.
Every day
when I talk about the book, I stroke the book.
He's been stroking the book.
I'm doing it now. I stroke the book.
Pampering the book.
It's a love affair. It really is. Like, this is why I
Yeah.
love my co-authors, Cyrus. This is why I truly appreciate everyone that all the effort has gone into it. You know, and everyone being so honest and so open, and to just help us learn about them and about ourselves. I think that's probably my key message for everyone. You know, self-awareness is the key. You know, when you've tried everything, when you've tried working harder, when you've tried trying harder, when you tried doing more, right? You know, the only thing left is within, to go within. You know, what's in your mind, your self-awareness. You know,
can you see the screen?
Yes.
Can you read the screen?
I don't strike my car. It's in the back garden.
Yeah, she's Natalie Thomas. Natalie Thomas is saying not as much as his car. So you cherish your car more than cherish the book.
No.
The book is getting jealous now.
I stroke the book. I stroke the book more than I stroke the car. Seriously, no, I stroke the book every day.
Disclaimer disclaimed. Disclaimer disclaimed. Okay, so that's good. That's good. I'm really glad you clarified that. Natalie, I hope you.
I'm not saying I don't love
you
the
rest
car.
your case.
The car is lovely, but I can't stroke it too much. I was telling him that I licked the hubcaps, but it's not true. It's not true. It's not true. I'm being
only rumors. Only rumors. And joking aside, Annie, when we try to have a small gathering for, let's say, for Christmas, and invite like 10 people, and 6 people will turn up, and 3 of them are drunk, right? So at least that's how it works in my friends and family during Christmas time. So I think you've done well for coordinating this massive project, and it was just wanted to congratulate you on this achievement.
Exactly.
You gathered them around.
Great job.
You explained what the expectations are, and you explained to them what you need them to write about, and they did. They submitted their work, and this is the magic of any awesome, guys. If you want to write a book, please, honestly, if you want to write a book, I'm going to publish my book through any song. Yeah, absolutely. And the first and the second. So me and Jasmine are going to come to you and
I think you'll see our process for yourself, Cyrus, right? And I said what I learned is simply that you have to fall in love with your own book. And the way you fall in love with your book is not by people think you write a book and it's gone. Jasmine, if you're thinking that, you're wrong, right? When you work with me, you're gonna have to read your book several times. My co-authors, they've read this book over and over and over. I tell you why. Simple reason, right? See, when we touch the book, you must read it again to make sure it's still the same book that you gave us, right? So when my 10 authors give us the chapters, we'll put it together. We'll say, right, read it. Is it what you wanted to say? Are you sure? Right? One author changes a lot of things. So we'll make those changes and we'll say, the book has changed. You must all read it again. That's a challenge for anthologies, right? They have to go and then if someone else changes something, Cyrus, guess what's going to happen? They're going to have to read it again and again. And that's what took months. Eventually, I love
the way you guys wrote the book, because the book's been evolving. It's like a living being.
Truly. And that comes from the constant rereading by the authors. Of course, and by me, and as a publisher, and I have to read. I know where the changes are. I know what they're saying, and even today, I wouldn't be surprised if I really find something. After we launched the book in August, I remember messaging Dr. Marcia saying, "This line says in March 2024. Is that what you meant to say?" She's like, "No. I changed it before. No one changed it." I'm saying, that's a book for you, right? You find things that you want to change. Even our last one of our last changes was making sure everyone's LinkedIn profile is correct, because that changes on people change that every day, right? If you change your profile, then you must, we must change it accordingly. Otherwise, it's out of date, and we can't have that. But every change that we made before we published, the authors have to reread the book again and again and again. You two are going to have to do that for your books. You see.
Absolutely. Regarding the audiobook, is there any schedule regarding the audiobook yet? Or is it something that it's going to come out in 2025 or 2026?
Dr. Roxanna, please feel free. What's your thoughts on turning this book into an audiobook?
Whenever you are ready, go ahead and turn it into audiobook. Whenever you are ready, I'm ready.
I'm thinking, Cyrus. I'm thinking.
Whenever you are ready, I'm ready.
I don't think we want one person to read the book for everyone. I think it's trying to get.
No. Each person needs to write their own chapter.
Yeah, need to read the
beauty of an anthology.
I agree. No, so it's just trying to organize that, and then we can work out a way where we can all commit to read our chapters. Maybe we don't need all the authors to read their chapter. Maybe you just need those who are willing to, and then go with those to start, and then we can add the others.
Can I?
Sure.
Cyrus, there is a comment that says that the LinkedIn audio is not working. Leslie Flowers said that the LinkedIn audio is not working. I don't know what that means, but
yeah, the LinkedIn
I'm not sure.
version, the LinkedIn show, part of the show, it's still in pre-live. I don't know why. It's
LinkedIn. Yeah, sometimes gremlins, eh? Sometimes. So regarding the audiobook, I just wanted to say, if and when people are ready to say their own piece, all they need to do is just spend the time, because they're not long chapters. They are pretty short and sweet, like me. Okay. They're short and sweet, and basically it's not a massive project to actually say their own chapter. It's pretty easy, and they can do it easily anyway. So then all they need to do is just submit their chapters to yourself. Once you've got all the files, please let me know, and I will help you guys with it anyway.
Of course. You are the podcaster in chief. So who else will help us with the audiobooks? You are the one who does the audio stuff in my world.
Thank you. Yeah, you can rely. The point is, you can rely on my help. Okay. So regarding lessons we learned from COVID-19, this book has a special place in my heart, and I will definitely help you guys regarding the podcast regarding it. So today is the first episode. We did the first episode of the podcast. So this is what we do here. We're doing it in the form of the Spotlight Season 2, Episode 1 is dedicated to lessons we learned from COVID-19.
Question.
Please go ahead.
Question. What's Spotlight?
Please go ahead.
I changed the Spotlight, but I now realize it's intentional, right?
Yeah. So Spotlight is a spotlight for podcasts. You can see the word pod in Spotlight. Right, that's the reason why we've chosen Spotlight. So people who have podcasts, have YouTube channels, people like Professor Roxanna, people who have any sort of publishing, any people like yourself, people who have a book. So they come to me, and I get them involved with Spotlight, and we shed some light on the matter, which is their book, their YouTube channel, or their podcast. That's what Spotlight is.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah. The good thing is that I'm getting more of my co-authors booking their dates. I think it's Cyrus next, and then Dr. Marcia.
Absolutely. So next week. Yeah, absolutely. Next week, same time, 10 p.m. On Saturday, 10 p.m. UK time, of course.
Yeah.
We will gather around again with another fantastic episode of lessons we learned from COVID-19 under the same roof. under the same podcast, Spotlight. So I just want to thank all of my friends and family who joined us and supported us on Facebook, on YouTube, on LinkedIn, and hopefully soon we will expand to Instagram and TikTok as well. Due to technical issues, we didn't manage to cast this podcast onto those platforms today. However, soon we will be on those platforms as well. We don't go live. Yeah, we don't go live, but when we do, we go on all of them.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate your help, Cyrus. Thank you for the spotlight.
My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much, Professor Roxanna. Any final closing comments, Jasmine?
I'd like to say thank you for, this opportunity, Cyrus, obviously, and for Annie and Professor Roxanna for coming together to write this book, because it's definitely a lot of experience and lessons to be learned from COVID-19. And, I'm just glad I'm here to soak in the wisdom and also apply it in my life and also impact people with it. So thank you.
Great. Thank you, Jasmine. It's good to know you.
Oh, thank
you, Jasmine. Thank you. Thank you so much. Annie, thank you so much for giving us your valuable time.
Thank you. Jasmine, I'll tell you, nothing gives me more joy than seeing my book in someone's hand. Really, seriously. I mean that sincerely. You got a book in your hand. That is the biggest joy of my. That's you've made my day, my month, my year. Seriously, that's the way, Jasmine. That's the way.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Please post Dr. Roxanna when her book comes out, when her Family Wealth Secrets comes out. I think her book about how to teach kids financial literacy is it's a must-have book. It's what the world is missing. In terms of our kids need to know how money works. You might think they do, they don't, right? Most parents don't even know how money works, and so her book is. Maybe I envision a world where everyone is happy, everyone is fulfilled, right? But Roxanna's book breaks down the simple rules of money for people to understand. I think
absolutely. So, you guys are phenomenal. I am the lucky guy who manages to tell a lovely story to my grandchildren later and say, I was the guy who brought Professor Roxanna to the screen, and Annie Osong and Jasmine Ofori. I feel lucky.
Thank you so much. What an experience. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. It was a pleasure. So guys, today we had the pleasure of being with a phenomenal mathematician and an author, best-selling author, Professor Roxanna. Annie Osong, the head of Global.Media.com, and one of the co-authors of Lessons We Learned from COVID-19, and also a fantastic social media specialist, Jasmine Ofori, who's been one of the best finds I've had in 2024. That's one of the best things that happened to us and for us, should I say?
Good stuff.
I feel like a product on a shelf.
Pedestal.
That's good.
You are phenomenal. Thank you guys. It was a pleasure. See you all in the next week's episode. So I've been the Whisperboy, Cyrus Kaffash, and you've been watching or listening to Spotlight. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Appreciate you. Thank you so much.